Now I want to look at this article that was posted on X about Tucker Carlson and the lies he spews and the dangerous rhetoric he's been spreading and how it actually may cause harm to Americans. All right. So the first thing is this is kind of Tucker Carlson's MO, right? Tucker is too smart. Now, I'm not going to read this whole article to you. It's way too long. It would take way too long. But maybe we'll hit on some high points about the article. You can find it on X from Insurrection Barbie. But Tucker is too smart to make things up wholesale, right? He doesn't do that. It's too smart. His technique, kind of like Candace, is more sophisticated and more dangerous. He does select real facts, then soldiers like fake conclusions onto them. So seamlessly the audience carries the lie home, believing they heard the truth. For example, on March 4th, he did this 6 times in a single broadcast. So here is a fact. Some IDF soldiers have been photographed wearing Third Temple patches on their uniforms. True, they exist. They are real. So Tucker then comes to this broad conclusion. That means obviously the Israeli government's war aim is to demolish the mosque and build the Third Temple funded by American taxpayers. But what he didn't tell you is the IDF chief of staff banned those patches in October 2024. They're unauthorized Velcro moral stickers sold by private activist groups for a few dollars each, the same category as a soldier putting a ban sticker on his helmet. By Tucker's logic, every army that has ever had a soldier with an unauthorized item in his kit is officially endorsing whatever that item says. The patches are real. His conclusion is fabricated and lied. And I think that's really important to understand what he's doing and how he is doing it. So let's look at some other stuff potentially in this. His most recent one is the Chabad fabrication. This is ridiculous. I just don't understand where it comes from and how he now assumes that Chabad is somehow responsible for the war and that this is like a whole religious war. And he just kind of tells half truths and makes up the half truths from there and then sends you home with like this whole thing that you should believe. And it's all based on the Jews in Israel. But he says it under the guise of like trying to be kind and nice. But there's some good people in there. And I'm just wondering and asking questions. But I'm telling you half truths and lies and fabrications. And I'm coming up to these conclusions without knowing the full facts and whatever the case may be. And so, Dun, 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 dun. All right. So I think this is important. Let's see. Alexander Dugin is Vladimir Putin's ideological architect, the Russian philosopher who spent 30 years arguing that American global dominance must be shattered through Uranium. I don't even know what that word is. A Russia, China, Iran axis that fragments the Western liberal order. Okay. His framework has 4 pillars. Tucker hit all 4 on March 4th. Okay. Very interesting. Pillar 1. America is fighting other people's wars. Tucker spent the broadcast opening constructing the argument that the United States is decaying empire manipulated by Israel and its domestic proxies. Dugin's writing is explicit that Americans must be convinced their military serves foreign interests, not their own, in order to break the political will to project power abroad. Obviously, in the video we just watched before that, Coleman Hughes and that other guy, Mark, I believe his name was, clearly debunked that. It's actually in America's best interest to destroy and topple Iran, especially their very immense weapon capabilities, apparently. And then we have pillar number 2. The war is secretly religious, irrational, and apocalyptic. Tucker's entire theological monologue, Solomon's Temple, the Foundation Stone, Third Temple mysticism, was designed to make the Iran war feel like a crusade launched by fanatics rather than a strategic decision by a government. Very important to understand that. Dugan frames Western liberalism as spiritually empty civilization being destroyed by its own nihilism, positioning American military action as secret religious zealotry serves this frame precisely. Very interesting. Very interesting article here. Again, you can find the full thing on X. I haven't read the full thing, but I'm going through some of the pieces here, especially this Dugan philosophy about how Tucker Carlson is essentially manipulating and fabricating everything he says and the audience that listens to him, which is very, very, very large. Pillar number 3, China and Russia are natural counterbalance, not aggressors. That's insane. Tucker opened the broadcast declaring that China is America's peer almost no matter how you measure it. A claim that is false by nominal GDP and by a measure of combat experienced expeditionary military capability, which serves the Duginist project of legitimizing the multipolar order as inevitable rather than manufactured. That's a lot of fucking words right there. Tucker Carlson is not a national treasure. Tucker Carlson is a liar, a fake, and he's paid by someone because he's too smart to just be lying straight out of his ass. And so he's using these tactics to manipulate his audience in a very skilled way. That's why I think this X article is very well written. And then pillar number 4, American soldiers are dying for nothing. On March 4th, the broadcast emotional core, the through line, Tucker returned again and again, is that the troops in CENTCON are being expended to fulfill a billionaire religious fantasy while the Pentagon runs out of missiles. Tucker treated that as an established fact. The goal is not to inform. The goal is to make an American service member family feel their loved one is being sacrificed for nothing. The single most powerful demobilization message that exists. Very interesting. Let's see what else we got going on here. Tucker Carlson on March 4, 2026, told his audience 6 things that primary source analysis cannot support. He told them that the Third Temple is real, war aim of the U.S., and the destruction in this war is likely. That is a false flag, and it's probably coming. That the U.S. military days from running out weapons and the controls American government and the American troops are dying for Israel. Every one of these conclusions serves as a single strategic purpose to break American political will during an active military operation in a manner that benefits the Russia, China, Iran axis Dugin has spent his career constructing. So that's what Tucker Carlson is doing. He is running cover for the Russia, China, Iran axis, all of the rogue states whose sole goal is to destroy America and Western civilization. And so if you think Tucker Carlson is spilling the truth and sharing some fucking national treasure about shit, you're wrong and misinformed. And you should take a deep dive into that and potentially have a little more discernment about who you trust and who you follow, considering if you follow people like Tucker or Candace or Ian Carroll or people who have all these large followings on the right, they're misinforming you because they're sort of been, their mind has been sort of warped by this like Israel Jew derangement syndrome. And then she cites her work here at the bottom. And what he said about Chabad is that it's basically Chabad's fault that they're starting this war is a threat, is sort of an open invitation for people to attack Jewish people and people who go to Chabad. It's actually very disgusting and super disingenuous. Let's see. What Tucker Carlson actually believes, insofar as he believes anything, is that America deserves what's coming. A useful idiot at least believes the propaganda. Tucker just sells it. Let's see what the Chabad thing is. See if we can find where that was. Here we go. This is important to understand. The FBI recorded 1,938 single bias hate crimes against Jews in 2024, the highest number since the Bureau began collecting data in 1991, a 5.8% increase from the prior year. Since January 2020, the ADL has documented 19 terrorist plots or attacks targeting Jews or Jewish institutions in the U.S. 12 of those occurred between July 2024 and January 2026, more in 18 months than the previous 54 combined. Incidents at campus Chabad centers more than doubled year over year. And Tucker Carlson has the audacity to say that it's Chabad who started the war. He is completely off of his rockers. But like I said at the very beginning, like she said at the very beginning, Tucker is too smart to make things up wholesale. And so he selects sort of real facts like we stated about the IDF patches and then uses those to form his whole conclusions, which are completely fabricated and made up, and then tells it with such like, seems like such sincerity because he has so much broadcasting experience that his charisma comes off as like fucking charming or whatever. And he tries to come off as like this family man, Christian person who's just like asking questions and trying to get to the truth and helping the American people. It's all under that guise of unearned moral virtue. It's under the guise of like, he's the paragon of virtue. He knows. And then he's blessing you with this information, and it's all bullshit. He's a gaslighter. He's a manipulator. He's a half truther like Candace Owens, and it is causing real division and real harm in American society. And it's not good for the future of media consumption, for the attention economy, about how we get the correct information to accurately decide about what's going on in our society and how we can make the best possible society moving forward. And so, again, I urge you to check out this article. It's on X. I'll link it in the description below. She does cite her sources. You can check out the Tucker Carlson broadcast from March 4th. I'm sure you have. Millions of people watch it. And you can kind of pick out the points where he uses those sort of, she says, what's the guy's name? Alexander Dugin's pillars, 4 pillars of the Russia, China, Iran axis to sort of dismantle America and Western civilization. So extremely important. Let's stop sharing there. And then we use that X article to kind of debunk Tucker Carlson and the way he expresses himself in a very manipulative and gaslighting way. There's also an article on X somewhere where someone breaks down like all 36 lies that Tucker Carlson stated in his quote unquote interview with Mike Huckabee, and that he intervened and talked over him and interrupted him like 500 times. Just like really inappropriate, bad stuff, and not good for the fabric of our society and the flourishing of our society.